no. Please don't, no.
Picture this. A serene tropical paradise suddenly erupts with a blood-curdling shriek. Two unfortunate souls, bound to what should have been innocuous gaming tables, slip into oblivion as their ability to speak is violently stripped away. Enter our hostess, a vision of sweetness wrapped in crimson, who approaches one of the poor souls with an unsettling gleam in her eye. She chirps about a new round, but the man's silence speaks volumes. The stakes skyrocket as loved ones are thrust into this twisted arena, their fates hanging by a thread. With a press of a button and a flick of fate, the blonde delivers a chilling verdict: death for the innocent. Rewind to mere weeks before this nightmare. A luxurious coach winds its way through lush scenery, carrying 6 unsuspecting friends to what they believe is paradise. Jude, the mastermind behind this getaway, had struck gold in an online game. His chosen companions? A motley crew of complex relationships: Andy, his childhood confidant, along with Andy's wife and father, Heather, Jude's latest flame, and Henry, his younger sibling. But beneath the excitement lurks a storm. Andy and Kate's marriage is unraveling at the seams, their love frayed by infidelity. As they settle into their opulent villa, an intriguing invitation arrives. But Heather's mind wanders to glittering dreams of wealth and extravagance, pinning her hopes on Jude's potential success. Meanwhile, the tension between Kate and Andy reaches a boiling point. Kate, determined to weather this emotional tempest without chemical crutches, pleads with Andy to help rebuild the trust that once formed the bedrock of their relationship. Dawn breaks, and the women seek solace by the shimmering pool. Heather, curiosity piqued, probes Kate about the heated exchange from the previous night. Not far off, the men engage in their own heart-to-heart. Andy expresses gratitude for this seeming escape from reality, but can't help wondering about Henry's presence. Jude's casual admission of financial trouble and Henry's timely bailout adds another layer to this increasingly complex web of relationships. As the ladies bask in the sun's warm embrace, the men embark on a rendezvous with the villa's management, blissfully unaware of the sinister turn their vacation is about to take. Imagine the scene. Our unwitting guests are ushered into a room where opportunity and danger mingle in the air. A company representative, her smile as sharp as a knife's edge, greets them with a proposition that sets Jude's heart racing. $20 million, just a few rounds away. The catch? This game's moving offline, and the players will be bound to their fate. Quite literally. Andy's instincts scream caution. His eyes narrow as he listens to the blonde's silky words, each syllable dripping with hidden peril. But Jude? Oh, Jude's eyes see only dollar signs, his friend's warnings falling on deaf ears. With reluctance hanging heavy in the air, Andy agrees to dip his toe into this treacherous water, just for the trial round, he tells himself. As dawn breaks, unease settles over Andy like a shroud. The hotel staff's bizarre behavior, snatching glasses from hands as if they held secrets, only fuels his growing paranoia. Yet, drawn by an invisible thread of curiosity and peer pressure, the men find themselves facing their hostess once more. The game begins. Deceptively simple. 2 buttons, red and blue, a modern-day Eden's apple. Cooperation promises a shared bounty, while betrayal, well, that's where the devil hides in the details. As the clock ticks down, what should be an easy decision erupts into a maelstrom of accusations and mistrust. Friendship frays under the weight of $10,000, suspicion poisoning every word. But just as all seems lost, a moment of clarity breaks through the storm. Apologies are exchanged, hands hover over red buttons, and for a breath, it seems harmony has prevailed. Yet as the host announces their victory, a chill runs down Andy's spine. He's had a taste of this game's true nature, and it's left him with a bitter aftertaste. As Jude's eyes gleam with the promise of more, Andy steps back from the precipice, his refusal to continue ringing out like a warning bell in the night. The tension in the room ratchets up as Jude, caught in the throes of misguided excitement, coaxes Andy back to the table. It's a pivotal moment, laden with foreboding, as they find themselves once again in the game's clutches, this time quite literally shackled to their fate. The hostess's words fall like hammer blows, each new rule more chilling than the last. Gone are the days of mere monetary stakes. Now, flesh and bone hang in the balance. The air grows thick with disbelief as Jude's laughter, tinged with hysteria, grates against Andy's mounting dread. In a heartbeat, everything changes. Trust shatters like fine crystal as Jude's betrayal unfolds in real time. The sickening crunch of bone and Andy's agonized cry punctuate the moment when fantasy gives way to brutal reality. Jude's face, once alight with mirth, now contorts in horror as he witnesses the consequences of his duplicity. Panic sets in, but escape proves futile. The hostess's calm reminder of the rules carries an undercurrent of menace that freezes the blood. The game, it seems, has only just begun, and the price of refusal is too terrible to contemplate. As the stakes climb to dizzying heights, so too does the tension between the former friends. Accusations fly like daggers, years of friendship dissected under the harsh light of betrayal. But then, a revelation. Jude's secret support of Andy's ailing mother adds yet another layer to this complex web of loyalty and deceit. the moment of revelation is shattered by the host's impassive voice, pulling our players back into their nightmarish reality. As the buttons glow an ominous red, fate deals another cruel hand. Money flows into accounts, but at what cost? Andy's stoic silence contrasts sharply with Jude's primal screams, the pain of their choices etched into flesh and bone. Desperation claws at Jude as he seeks answers, only to be met with the chilling indifference of their captor. Her words paint a grotesque picture of entertainment built on suffering, leaving our players to grapple with the knowledge that their torment feeds an unseen audience's dark appetites. Just when it seems the situation couldn't become more dire, the game takes a sickening turn. Loved ones, Andy's father and Jude's brother Henry, are thrust into this twisted arena. The air grows thick with impossible choices, each option more horrific than the last. Eyes or lives hang in the balance, with debt as the poison consolation prize. Anguish and desperation fuel a frantic debate between the once friends. Jude's plea to sacrifice his father for Henry's sake reveals the depths to which this game has pushed them, but agreement remains elusive, and in their panicked attempts to save their kin, they inadvertently seal their fates. The consequences of their choice unfold with brutal efficiency, 2 lives snuffed out, leaving behind a wake of guilt, grief, and crippling debt. In the aftermath, accusations fly, with Jude conveniently forgetting his own role in their downfall as he lays blame at Andy's feet. Kate and Heather, unwitting pawns, are thrust onto the stage, their fates now intertwined with the press of a button. The stakes have escalated beyond comprehension, with tongues and lives hanging in the balance. In a moment of raw emotion, Kate's words of forgiveness and hope pierce the tension, a stark contrast to the barbarity surrounding them. Heather's revelation of new life growing within her adds another layer of anguish to an already impossible situation. Yet the host remains unmoved, a chilling reminder of the game's ruthless nature. Jude's false assurances to Andy echo hollowly in the charged atmosphere. His betrayal, when it comes, is swift and devastating. The scene unfolds with horrific clarity, Heather whisked away to safety, while Kate's life is brutally extinguished before Andy's disbelieving eyes. The hidden camera, nestled in the cold embrace of an ancient statue, captures every excruciating detail for the unseen audience's macabre entertainment. As the host gleefully announces the game's impending conclusion, a chilling realization dawns. Andy, stripped of all he holds dear, faces a final twisted choice. The blonde's reminder that Jude was once his dearest friend serves only to underscore the depths of betrayal he's endured. The final round looms, a grotesque parody of friendship pitted against self-preservation. Andy's refusal to engage, his determination to end this nightmare swiftly and decisively, speaks volumes of his shattered spirit. Jude's desperate pleas fall on ears deafened by grief and betrayal. The tension in the room reaches a fever pitch as Andy, despite his earlier resolve, finds himself unable to condemn his former friend to death. Their shared history, though tainted by betrayal, still holds enough sway to stay his hand. As the red buttons illuminate, the host's gleeful proclamation of Andy's cunning strategy rings hollow against the backdrop of their agonized screams. The price of their choice is exacted in flesh, each man losing an eye in a gruesome spectacle. But the game, it seems, is far from over. The host's casual inquiry about their love for money in the face of such horror is met with stony silence, a testament to the men's shattered spirits. Then, in a twist that defies all expectations, Heather is thrust back into the nightmare she thought she'd escaped. Jude's desperate pleas for his unborn child fall on deaf ears as the host unveils the most twisted turn yet. The final round transforms into a perverse triangle of trust and betrayal. Andy, realizing the likely outcome, listens with grim fascination as the rules are laid out. The stakes have never been higher. Not just eyes or limbs, but life itself hangs in the balance. As Heather enters the equation, the dynamics shift dramatically. Will the bond between lovers prove stronger than the lure of survival and wealth, or will unexpected alliances form in these final, desperate moments? The air crackles with tension as each player contemplates their move. Andy, granted the power to choose, faces an impossible decision. The final act of this grotesque drama unfolds with a series of gut-wrenching revelations and betrayals. Jude, clinging to hope, pleads with Heather to trust him, his words a desperate attempt to forge a path to survival. Meanwhile, Andy's bitter laughter cuts through the tension as he exposes Heather's manipulations, stripping away the last vestiges of Jude's illusions. Heather, ever the consummate actress, plays her part to perfection. Her tears and impassioned pleas for the life of her non-existent child momentarily sway Andy, touching some last remnant of compassion in his battered soul. The red button is pressed, a final leap of faith in a game that has shredded all notions of trust. But in a twist as cruel as it is predictable, Heather's true colors emerge. The blue card she reveals is like a dagger to Jude's heart, the realization of her deceit dawning on him with excruciating slowness. Andy's laughter takes on a manic edge, a sound born of despair and the grim satisfaction of having his cynicism validated. As the host cheerfully wraps up this round of the hellish game, the elimination of Andy and Jude serves as a chilling punctuation mark to their ordeal. The unseen audience, those shadowy figures whose entertainment comes at such a horrific cost, bear witness to this final act of brutality. But the true horror lies in the cyclical nature of the game, as revealed in the epilogue. Heather, now donning the mantle of the host, stands before a new set of players. Her transformation from victim to perpetrator is complete, her words to the new participants dripping with the same false sweetness that lured her predecessors to their doom. As the new round begins, we're left with a profound sense of unease. The game, it seems, is eternal, feeding on the desperation and greed of its participants. Heather's ascension to the role of host raises disturbing questions about the nature of survival in this twisted world. Has she truly won, or has she merely traded one form of captivity for another? In the end, this tale serves as a dark mirror to our own society, forcing us to confront uncomfortable truths about human nature, the corrupting influence of power, and the lengths to which people will go when pushed to their limits. As the cycle begins anew, we're left to wonder, in a game where the only way to win is to become the monster, is there any true victory to be had?